Over the past 2 years, I've used so many different methods and tools in order to keep track of my video ideas. Having a solid structure is essential in order to not forget about that one video idea that might be a banger. To cut right to the chase, I'm using Notion for this. If you want to know why, make sure to keep on watching because I'll dive into it deeper, a lot deeper. The strange but nice thing about creativity is that it comes when you least expect it. For example, when you want to go to bed, or when you just woke up, or when you're driving long distances in a car, or in my case, when taking a shower. When I started my YouTube channel in 2019, I mainly used a pen and paper to write out my video ideas. And I thought this was a brilliant idea because when I write things down, I can remember it more vividly and easily, which helps when I need to record it like this. However, writing things down with pen and paper, especially things that you're not certain of while you're writing it down, can be a very difficult thing because it is trial and error. You want to erase things and maybe write it back down a little differently. So in the end, it was a massive paper waste and I didn't really like it. So then I started using Apple Notes. I thought this was the best thing to do because it syncs up automatically very fast between my laptop and my phone. But as I started to write more and more and more, I kind of got lost in the different video ideas per subject because it was just piled up in that one banner. I couldn't really find what I was looking for. Then I started using Notion. And it kind of saved my life. That's a bit over-exaggerated, but it kind of helped me through some difficult times. Here's why. Whoa. Having a good solid system to keep track of all these things is essential, and it really kind of helps me to lower my stress level, sometimes even anxiety. Because sometimes I come up with an idea, I write it down somewhere on a piece of paper, and I lose it, or I kind of forgot that I put it on that piece of paper. And that creates anxiety, it creates stress because I was convinced that that was an amazing idea. But if I use Notion to record all the things that I think of, all my ideas, all my brain farts basically, I'm a lot more at ease because I know it is in there. And I know that if I look back at it a couple days from now, I know that my idea is still in Notion and I can sort of distinguish whether this is a good idea or a bad idea. You know, that's also very important. You can filter it out more easily. I use Notion to organize all these video ideas for YouTube, but also to write pitches for clients or to just write documentary ideas. And let me show you some examples of what I mean with this. Right now I'm working on 2 documentary ideas, one feature documentary, which I will not be talking about, and a shorter documentary. This short film is playing itself out in Austria. It's about 2 mountain guides, and kind of the story that I want to tell is about how they are experiencing snowboarding and guiding while they also have a family and a day job at home. I wanted to have a couple of iconic scenes or shots in this film. I think these shots are very important, such as a shot that they're hiking up or touring, splitboarding up the mountain while it's still dark with headlights on, and very big, larger than life drone shots of them walking on a ridge while the sun is coming up or setting. You know, these shots are iconic and I really want to use those shots in my film. So what I do is I go on to YouTube or Vimeo and I search for videos that I know have these kinds of shots in them. For example, brands like Patagonia, North Face, Arc'teryx. These brands usually have very cool videos with crazy shots that are somewhat in the same range of something that I want to shoot. So I just scroll through these videos and I snap screen grabs of it and just drag it into Notion. And this way I can create a very detailed mood board that I can use for myself to keep track of what I really want for this film. But also, if you have a larger crew, it's great to convince the director or the cast or the client of what you're about to do. So having a tool that lets you create these things with one flick of the wrist is quite cool and very handy. I do approach YouTube a little different. Let me show you how I build out a script. For example, for this video, might be interesting to see. As you can see, it's pretty simple. I kind of write the entire script out, but also sort of create brackets of parts that I know B-roll will sort of overdub my voice. And this is very useful because you can kind of see in one glance of what you need to be shooting and what kind of ideas you had when writing this script. I do sometimes write outlines when a story is closer to myself, when it's something more personal that I can talk about easier. Right now I'm kind of making all this up. It's not necessarily something that is in the script, but I feel like this is also informative and good to talk about. However, if I am talking about a very specific topic, which is super technical or difficult, I am writing an entire script, because if I forget numbers or if I forget specific and very important things, for example, about camera specs or something like that, I can always take a look at my laptop and, talk about the real deal. Right now, I'm kind of making things up as I go because I am comfortable talking about the subject. However, if that's not the case, I do write full scripts. Of course, it takes a lot more time. While an outline can be done in 30 minutes, a full script can take up to 2 or 3 hours, maybe even longer if I'm very picky and perfectionistic. As you can see on this board, I kind of divide all these different topics into different sections. And these sections, they correspond to the playlist that I have on my YouTube channel. For example, productivity and self-development. Well, you can see a bunch of different video ideas that I have sort of had an idea about, and then I wrote it down. And you can see that whenever it says like an icon like this, it kind of has some sort of random, very dumb piece of text. Some are bigger than others, but some are just very lame and dumb. Yeah, anyway, then I also have a filmmaking tab, business and finance tab, daily journey, which I never kind of talk about, and then some random podcast idea that I'm not going to show you. Anyway, you can see that it is very simple and easy to kind of keep track of all the ideas that you have in a different or specific category. If I, for example, want to drag this taking cold showers for insane productivity idea over to filmmaking, I can. It's very simple, just drag and drop. Also, I kind of, put the ideas that I want to create sort of first on top and then slowly, gradually go down. This makes it super simple and easy for me to see what I want to work on, for example, next week. As you can see, Notion is super easy to use. And the great thing about it, if you check this sort of side banner thing, you can create more boards or lists. And for example, you can create a table, which is like a regular Excel table. You can create boards, which, I use often. Lists, which is more sideways. And you can create calendars and galleries and timelines even, which is very useful if you have, for example, a documentary idea. So, the possibilities are endless. And what I think is very, very nice about this software is that it is free. It has an amazing app for iOS and Android. And most importantly, it just works. It never crashes. It really saves your stuff well. If you're typing and you press X or you click on the side, it will automatically save everything. I've never had the issue that I write down an entire script and suddenly my laptop crashes or something, which never happens, and I lose it. It never happens. So it's a very safe and secure program. Also, sharing this with friends or collaborators is very easy and it works really well. For example, this is a board that I'm sharing with Frank, and this is a board that I'm sharing with Frank as well, which is about a new academy that we're starting. So yeah, the possibilities are endless and I think it's a great tool. All right, guys, that is it for this video. Hopefully I kind of inspired you to check out Notion. I mean, I'm not getting paid by them. I just really like their service, and I think it can definitely help you as well if you're struggling with organizing your, million thoughts like what I have. So definitely check it out. Let me know if you have any questions, or let me know if you've used it and want to share your experience with it. Down in the comments below would be awesome. I'm going to write some more scripts. See you guys later.